It was battered and scarred, and the auctioneer thought it hardly worth his while to waste his time on the old violin, but he held it up with a smile. "What am I bid, good people?" he cried. "Who starts the bidding for me? $1, do I hear two? $2, who makes it three? $3 once, $3 twice, going for three." But no, from the room far back a gray-haired man came forward and picked up the bow. Then wiping the dust from the old violin and tightening up the strings, he played a melody pure and sweet as the angels sing. The music ceased, and the auctioneer, with a voice that was quiet and low, said, "What now am I bid for this old violin?" as he held it aloft with its bow. $1,000, do I hear two? $2,000, who makes it three? $3,000 once, $3,000 twice, going and going, said he. The audience cheered, but some of them cried, "We just don't understand. What changed this word?" Came the swift reply, "The touch of the master's hand." And many a man with life out of tune, all battered with bourbon and gin, is auctioned cheap to a thoughtless crowd, much like that old violin. A mess of pottage, a glass of wine, a game, and he travels on. He is going once, he is going twice, he is going and almost gone. But the master comes, and the foolish crowd can never quite understand the worth of a soul and the change that is wrought by the touch of the master's hand. The Master's Hand was written by Myra Welch. She was called the poet with the singing soul. Hers was a very musical family. As a young woman, Myra's special love was playing the organ. In 1921, she heard a speaker address a group of students. She said she became filled with light, and touch of the Master's hand wrote itself in 30 minutes. She sent it anonymously to her church news bulletin. She felt it was a gift from God and didn't need her name on it. Its popularity spread like magic. Finally, several years later, the poem was read at a religious international convention. Author unknown. A young man stood up and said, "I know the author, and it's time the world did too." It was written by my mother, Myra Welch. Then her name, as well as her other beautiful works of poetry, became known worldwide. All of her poetry told of the rejoicing she had in God's love. What the world did not see was the woman who created these masterpieces. Myra, in her wheelchair, battered and scarred from severe arthritis, which had taken away her ability to make music. Instead, her musical soul spoke through her poetry. She took one pencil in each of her badly deformed hands. Using a eraser end, she would type slowly the words, the joy of them outweighing the pain of her efforts. Her words, a joyous expression of the wonders of life, as seen by a singing soul that was touched by the Master's hand. As a friend turned to leave her home, Myra patted the arm of her wheelchair and said, "And I thank God for this." Imagine being grateful for a wheelchair. But her talent lay undiscovered prior to her wheelchair days. Rather than becoming bitter, she chose to let her handicap make her better, and a wonderful new door opened for her. Her poem, as quoted by Joe Quinn, speaking at the Orange Olive Friendship Club, Monday night, March 11, 1974, opened the door for me to that loving embrace with my higher power, so that I too could be touched by the Master's hand, and as I now know that you are too.